What's up, guys? We're back with a full slate of MLB action here on Thursday, April 24th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. We're going to look at bets on the side and over-under, and we're going to break down each NBA playoff game here on Thursday and give out our favorite player props. Just like every day, guys, I'll be giving out my dog of the day and my big, massive, maybe ridiculous lock of the day. Make sure you're checking that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there are any changes as injury news and player availability is confirmed. In terms of a recap for Wednesday, guys, a little bit of positive, a little bit of negative here in the very early goings. Now, we're recording early, getting these picks out to you guys as early as possible. Right now, all we know, Paolo Banchero easily cashed his over on point. So there's a prop win for you right out of the gates. The Cavaliers minus 12 looking very live. Gary Payton II to make a 3 in this game. Obviously, that game hasn't even started yet. The Cardinals and the Atlanta Braves let us down in a big way. They ended with 18 hits, only 5 runs, so we don't cash that over. We still got the Pirates plus 124 as our dog of the day. We've got the no-run first inning in that Milwaukee-San Francisco game as our massive lock of the day, so hopefully those end up coming through. Do me a big favor, slam that like button. It's free, helps me a ton, and shows your appreciation for all of the hard work we're putting in every single day. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. That'll help keep you from missing our daily videos. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today or any other feedback you have for me, and I will personally respond every single day to every single comment. Quick reminder, all of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport for the last 3 years in a row, I believe, and it's been off to a great start this year. Just on Tuesday, our premium capper went 4-1, and lots of plays out there for Wednesday. There'll be lots of plays out there for Thursday as well. Once you get over to StumpTheSpread.com, you'll see our exclusive free picks that are only posted there. Free to use bet size calculators, our premium top confidence picks, which might not always match what you see here in the videos. You also need to sign up for our free email newsletter from Stump the Spread, which will get you free picks straight to your inbox every day, updates on our results, and no run first inning and other parlays. So definitely want to get on that email list. It's 100% free. Just get over there to Stump the Spread and sign up for a free account. If you're a huge fan of what we're doing here every single day, sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members are eligible for our members only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member each month. We just gave one away 3 days ago, I think, or 2 days ago. Very excited to be giving away more and more merchandise and to hopefully eventually make merchandise available for purchase here in the not too distant future. As always, guys, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The White Sox and Twins are playing right now, and shockingly enough, we have a real baseball game on our hands. It's 3-3 in the bottom of the 5th inning, so we'll see how things end up. Obviously, the White Sox not having a great time this year, as you would very obviously guessed. They're going to be handing the ball here in this game to Shane Smith. He's 0-1 this year, a 2.82 ERA. He's been throwing the ball pretty well, not going to lie. He just does not really have the results to back it up. Now, he's already faced the Twins once this season, certainly something to take into account, and he had a pretty good outing. He went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned. He walked 4 and struck out 3. Now, that was his first start of the season, but Bro went out there, threw the ball really, really well. Unfortunately for him and for the White Sox in general, they lost that game 8-3, so the bullpen not really holding up, but he had a pretty good outing, so definitely something we want to take into consideration in this game. Now, the bullpen situation there for the White Sox is obviously subpar, a 4.34 bullpen ERA, a number that we expect to get much, much worse, has them clearly in the bottom half of the majors. So not expecting amazing things from the pitching staff, at least once Shane Smith comes out of the game. The offense, obviously they put up 3 runs in their current game, so that's nice. I don't know if that's something we can count on necessarily, as this is looking like it might be once again one of the worst offenses in Major League Baseball. They're last in batting average, last in slugging percentage, last in on-base percentage, and third to last there in runs scored. It's been a little bit brutal. Obviously, they're coming off a game where they were decent at the plate, at least by their standards, but certainly not an offense that we're very high on, and they don't really have anybody off to a particularly good start, so not a lot of reason to fear this lineup. So we'll see what they can do here against the Minnesota Twins, a team that's gotten off to a very bad start of their own. They're second to last there in the AL Central, ahead of only those Chicago White Sox. They really need to get these wins against one of the few teams that's looking worse than them in the early goings. They're hitting the ball in this one to Chris Paddock. He's part of the problem. He's 0-2 this year, a 7.27 ERA. Now, he's coming off a couple good starts. I would say maybe just good starts in a row is all we're going to give him credit for, but we do see Minnesota is 0-4 in those starts. Now, his last time out, certainly not his fault. It was at Atlanta. He went 5 innings, he gave up 3 hits, only a single earned run. It was a solo home run. He struck out 6 and walked 1. I would say that was his best start of the season, and his start against the Tigers before that was also very, very good. So he's certainly headed in the right direction. Now, he's got to face the White Sox, a team that absolutely destroyed him back on the 31st of last month. So we'll see what he can do. It was his first start of the season. He gave up 9 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings against the White Sox. So I'm going to be facing a lot of those guys again. See if he can get a little bit of a bounce back in. The Twins bullpen hasn't been a disaster necessarily, but it hasn't been great. I mean, they're sitting with a 3.67 bullpen ERA. Not the end of the world, but not ideal necessarily, but definitely something of a strength for a floundering team. Now, the offense has been a huge problem, guys. They're 26th in the majors in runs scored. They're 29th in batting average, batting only .210 as a team. Ty France is leading this team in batting average, batting .237. You're going to have to hit the ball better than that, especially against bad teams, but against everyone. Like, this is ridiculous how bad the Twins have been here out of the gate. So maybe they can turn things around here. The odds makers certainly seem to think so. The Twins are minus 225. The White Sox are plus 185. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The White Sox are 1-10 on the road. They're 12-9-2 to the under. Minnesota 5-5 at home, 12-8-3 to the under. I think this is a very reasonable spot to take under 8.5. Both teams going to be in a little bit of a regression spot after it seems like they're going to score quite a few runs here in their game on Wednesday. But I also think with these two pitchers on the mound, especially Shane Smith, we have to be taking maybe something of a look at the White Sox at plus 185. We saw Paddock get absolutely destroyed by the White Sox in his first start of the year. Now, he's been throwing the ball much better recently, but that's some pretty bad history. And obviously, we've liked what we've seen from Shane Smith. He faced Minnesota earlier this year and had a very reasonable start. So, yeah, if anything on a side in this game, I'm going to be leaning towards the White Sox at plus 185. I know that sounds insane. Don't go putting that in your parlays and racking all your parlays, but I do think there's some value to be had on the White Sox here at almost 2-1 and some value to be had on that under. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the Boston Red Sox. The Mariners and Red Sox are playing right now. Seattle looking like they're about to lock up the win. They're currently up, 8-5? Yeah, 8-5 in the bottom of the ninth with 1 out. So they're looking like they're in very, very good shape. They'll be 13-11 on the year, so not the hottest start. They're hitting the ball to Brian Wu. He's 2-1 to open his season, a 3.12 ERA. Now, his last start, not his best stuff. He did last 7 innings out there against Toronto, and that's back-to-back starts pitching 7 innings, so that's good. He did give up 3 earned runs, though, on 3 hits, struck out 4 and walked 2. So maybe giving up 3 earned runs over 7 innings is not bad. Giving up 7 hits makes me think those runs were very, very likely to happen. Now, we're not upset with the way he's thrown the ball this season. He's having a very good year out there. That young 25-year-old arm is looking very good out of the gate. So happy for him. Also happy for that Seattle bullpen. No major shock to see them a top 10 bullpen out there in the majors. I think they could even get a little bit better than what they've shown here in the early going. So liking that from the Mariners, and what we really love here for Seattle is the fact this offense is headed in the right direction after looking so terrible last year, guys. They're still only 24th in the majors in batting average, but they're all the way up to 14th in runs scored, 12th in on-base percentage. They're having a very good game in this one, putting up 8 runs. So, yeah, just positives on top of positives there for the Seattle offense. Cal Raleigh, guys, 9 home runs and batting nearly .250. That will certainly work. So loving life right now if you're a Mariners fan. They're taking on the Boston Red Sox, who come into this game, looking like there's going to be fresh off a loss. They'll be 14-12 on the year, so that's okay. We'll see what they can get done in this one. The Red Sox, obviously, right there with the Yankees in the AL East, but I don't think anybody thinks being 3 or 4 games over 500 is going to get the job done out there in the AL East. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Garrett Crochet, who's 2-1 this year, a 1.13 ERA. Now, since coming over from the White Sox, Bro looked really good against the White Sox in back-to-back starts this season, going 7 1/3, giving up 1 earned run, and going 6 innings and giving up 0 earned runs. Now, that's the White Sox. We're not going to freak out about that. He's about to take on a very, very tough hitting Mariners team all of a sudden. So we'll see what he can do against them. He's got a very good start against Baltimore, a very good start against Texas, a reasonable start against Toronto, but not great. So we'll see what he can do. I would say this Mariners team is actually the toughest hitting team he's going to have faced this season. So that's something to take into consideration. Also worth noting is that Boston bullpen, and I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm not really too thrilled with what we're seeing from the Red Sox out of the pen. A 4.47 bullpen ERA, not something you want to write home about. So a little bit concerning there for both arms there for the Red Sox. I'm not 100% sold on Crochet to have an amazing start in this game. We'll see what happens. Now, the offense for the Red Sox, coming off a game where they scored 5 runs, yeah, they did end up eventually losing that game 8-5. So that one's over. That's a final now. We're liking what we're seeing from guys like Trevor Story, and they're going to have scored 5, 8, 4, 4, and 4 runs over their last few. That's not horrible or anything. They're 8th in the majors in runs scored, 10th in batting average, 10th in slugging percentage, but they're not going up against a very easy to hit starter. So we'll see what they can do here. Looking at the numbers for this game, the odds makers love the Red Sox. They're minus 165. The Mariners are plus 140. We've got a total of 8 out there. Seattle 4-6 on the road. I think 5-6 now. 11, 10, and 2 to the over. Boston 8-5 at home. 13, 10, and 2 to the under. I'm going to be leaning a bit towards the Mariners here at plus 140. I think they are very, very live in this game. That Boston Red Sox bullpen, very concerning to me. I don't like what I'm seeing out there at all. I'm also not, super jazzed up with what we're seeing from the Red Sox bats. Their numbers are juiced a little bit by, getting to play a pretty weak schedule to open the year. So we'll see what they can do. I'm going to be leaning towards the Mariners at plus 140, and they've got a very real chance, especially on this short slate, to end up being our dog of the day. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Colorado Rockies going on the road in this one to take on the Kansas City Royals. Right now, these two teams are in a rain delay in the top of the first, so this could end up getting changed around. We can end up with a doubleheader or any kind of weirdness out there in this one. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Right now, the Colorado Rockies are slated to be handing the ball to Chase Dollander. He's 1-2 this year, a 7.36 ERA. Now, a 23-year-old starting pitcher out there in the MLB, you're going to expect him to have some growing pains, and he certainly did against Washington. 4 innings, 9 hits, 9 runs allowed. 6 of them were earned, and he gave up 4 home runs. He's given up a total of 8 home runs, guys, over his 3 starts. So pretty worried about him. I don't think that's a big shock. The Rockies bullpen has been much better this season than you would expect. A 4.23 bullpen ERA, while not amazing, is not the disaster we saw from them last season. The offense, not exactly killing it here out of the gate. I mean, we've seen some good stuff from guys like Kyle Farmer, I guess, but 29th in the majors in runs scored and 27th in batting average. Not really going to get me too jazzed up. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Kansas City Royals, who come into this game, 10-14 on the year, so not off to a great start. We'll see if they actually get to play this game that's, in a rain delay in the top of the first. They're going to be handing the ball to Cole Rangans. He's 1-1 this year, a 3.58 ERA. Now, he'd been really doing well. He had 3 very solid starts mowing down Milwaukee, Minnesota, and Cleveland, but came up against Detroit, guys. In Detroit, 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, including a home run. He struck out 8 and walked 3. Now, he's been throwing the ball really, really well here in the early goings, and I think getting to go up against a team like the Rockies could be just what the doctor ordered. I'm expecting very good stuff from Cole Rangans in this game, no doubt about that. Now, keep an eye on it. Let's make sure this actually ends up being the confirmed starters for this game and everything. But right now, guys, liking what I'm seeing out of Kansas City. The bullpen's been serviceable, a 3.79 bullpen ERA. Not amazing, but not the end of the world. The only problem really confronting this team has been their offense. We've seen Bobby Witt Jr. lead the way, batting 308. That's great, but still, guys, no power numbers coming out of the Royals. They're 29th in the majors in slugging percentage, 28th in batting average. They're second to last in runs scored. Like, this team is not going to be amazing at the plate, but they're definitely not going to be this bad. So expecting some positive regression here, and going up against a rookie pitcher that's getting shelled every time he goes out there might be just what they need. So looking at the numbers for this one, the Rockies are plus 220. The Royals are minus 275. We've got a total out there of 8.5. The Rockies are only 1-12 on the road. They are 14-7-1 to the under. Kansas City 7-4 at home, 15-8-1 to the under. I'm not taking the under in this game, I'm going to be honest. Even though the Royals have been so bad offensively, I think they could really go nuts out there against the Rockies. So, yeah, staying away from the total in this one, but I definitely think we have to take a look here at the Kansas City Royals as our massive lock of the day. I just think it's very unlikely they lose given this pitching matchup, given that Chase Dollander is going to be out there on the mound. Now, keep an eye on this game. If we end up with a canceled game or a postponed game here in Game 1, the starters could, in Game 2 of this series, the starters could change here for Game 3. So keep an eye on that. But right now, the Royals at minus 275. Definitely a great chance to be our lock of the day. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Milwaukee Brewers going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Brewers and Giants are playing right now, guys. They're in the top of the first inning with 1 out. We've got some action on that game. We're looking for a no-run first inning. So we're going to be looking at the Thursday game in this one, the Thursday matchup. And the Brewers, they're going to be hitting the ball to Tobias Myers. Now, he's been dealing with an oblique issue. He is going to be their probable starter for this game. So looks like he is going to make his way out there, make his first outing of the season, which should be a nice little boost there for the Brewers, assuming that he can, kind of do something similar to what he did last year. So we'll see what he can do out there, see if that Brewers bullpen can kind of figure itself out. They've been one of the worst 4 or 5 bullpens in Major League Baseball this season. The offense has kind of turned things around. A Christian Yelich grand slam the other day was a pretty nice, point in the right direction. They put up 14 in that one game against the A's. They're headed in the right direction. They're third in the majors in runs scored, 13th in batting average, and 14th in on base percentage. So maybe not quite as good as those runs scored numbers would indicate, but overall, guys, I'm not too worried about this offense. I think they're going to end up figuring things out. Now, will they figure it out against San Francisco Giants? We'll see. The Giants 15-9 on the year, obviously not figuring the result there from Wednesday, but they're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Landon Roop. He comes into this game 2-1 on the year, a 4.09 ERA. Now, his numbers would look much better if he hadn't struggled there at the Phillies, but his last start was a great one. Probably his best start of the season. He went 7 innings, gave up only 5 hits and 2 earned runs, both via the solo home run. He had 1 walk and 9 strikeouts, and it was eventually a 3-2 win there for the Giants. So I think they've got to feel pretty confident with him on the mound. The Giants have won 3 out of his 4 starts. So that's another positive there. And in terms of the bullpen situation for the Giants, they're probably pretty stoked to be sporting a 2.56 bullpen ERA. Nothing at all wrong with that. You love to see that if you're a San Francisco Giants fan. Now, the offense, guys, it's been doing a little bit less well than we saw at the beginning of the year. Obviously, some of those numbers were a little bit maintainable, but we've seen guys like Young Hoo Lee get off to a good start. Wilmer Flores for sure off to a great start. They're 6th in the majors in runs scored, 19th in batting average, and 15th in on base percentage, though. Makes me think those numbers are going to normalize here at some point. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Brewers are plus 120. The Giants are minus 140. We've got a total out there of 7.5. Milwaukee 4-7 on the road, 13-9-2 to the under. San Francisco 5-3 at home, 15-8-1 to the over. I'm going to be shading here towards the San Francisco Giants a good amount, despite the fact they're minus 140. I really like Roop out there on the mound. Now, Tobias Myers could be good. He's going to be making his first outing of the season in this game, though, so that makes me a bit concerned, no doubt about that. So, going to be keeping an eye on that, but I think the side you want to be on is the San Francisco Giants. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Baltimore Orioles going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Orioles off to a bad start, guys. They are 9-14 on the season. They lost the first 2 in this series there at Washington, and they're not even favored in this game. So concerns mounting for the Orioles. They're hitting the ball to Cade Povich. Their young starter, guys, not having a great time in the early goings. 0-2, a 6.38 ERA. He got absolutely shelled by the Cincinnati Reds his last time out. He had a decent start, I guess, against Toronto before that, but overall has had a rough season. He gave up only 1 earned run on 6 innings against Kansas City, but gave up 12 hits and 4 runs total. So just a lot of negatives for this young guy. He's trying to figure it out there, but it's not going great. The bullpen situation for Baltimore also not ideal. They're bottom, 6th in the majors now? 4.55 bullpen ERA. Not working out, and very little is going to work out for this team if they can't figure things out at the plate. They are 18th in the majors in runs scored, 22nd in batting average, and 24th in on base percentage. That is not the way this roster was designed to work. So not loving much for the Baltimore Orioles. Now they're taking on the Nationals, who quietly won 4 out of their last 5. They're sitting at 11-13 on the year. Handing the ball in this one to Mackenzie Gore, who's been decent here in the early goings. 2-2, a 3.41 ERA. His last start, serviceable against the Rockies. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 13 strikeouts in that one. Now, it was a game we saw the Nationals eventually win 12-11. You might ask, why would that game have ended up being so close? Well, it's because their bullpen is garbage, guys. Worst in the majors, a 7.09 bullpen ERA. Frankly, embarrassing stuff. The offense has been doing its thing. They've scored 4, 7, 1, 3, and 12 runs over their last few, but this offense is not designed to be able to prop up a bullpen that's going to be this atrocious. They're not going to be handing the bullpen a 10-run lead every time. They are 16th in the majors in runs scored, 21st in on base percentage, though. So I'm not freaking out about the offense, although some positive things are happening. Now, looking at the numbers here, the Nationals minus 115, the Orioles minus 105. We've got a total of 8.5. Baltimore's 4-7 on the road, 13-6-3 to the over. Washington 6-4 at home, 12-11 to the over. I'm tempted by the over in this game for sure, just because that Nationals bullpen is so bad. But what I really like in this game more than anything else, I'll just take the Nationals in the first 5. That seems extremely reasonable to me. I think we'll like what we see from Mackenzie Gore and hate what we see from the bullpen for Washington. I don't think Cade Povich is in for a good day at all, so definitely give me the Nationals here in the first 5, and this is a play that has a chance to end up in the pinned comment. Rolling right along, guys, we are going to be looking at Game 3 of the Pittsburgh Pirates headed to Los Angeles to take on the Angels. Now, they're currently playing Game 2 in the top of the second inning. They're scoreless right now, so no major news on that. We are on the Pirates there in Game 2. We'll see how that one works out for us, but we're very, very interested in looking at what's going to happen here in Game 3. The Pirates, not off to the hottest start. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Carmen Moldzinski. He's 1-3 this year, a 7.41 ERA, having some of the struggles you would expect from a young pitcher. He gave up 5 earned runs on 9 hits over 4 innings in his last start, and that was against Cleveland, a game we eventually saw the Pirates end up losing 10-7. So not a lot of positives right now for Pittsburgh, if I'm being honest. I mean, they have a few. There's some starters that are turning things around and looking much better. The bullpen is one of those positives. A 3.43 bullpen ERA is certainly respectable, easily top 10 in the majors. The offense, though, has not been great. 24th in the majors in runs scored, 26th in batting average. Nobody really off to a particularly hot start. Now, they did score 9 runs in Game 1 of this series. We'll see what they can do in Game 2, but not exactly holding our breath for a big, crooked number out there from the Pirates as they go on the road here to take on the Angels, who are 500 on the season. They've been a little bit all over the place. Got up to a hot start. Now they've started to normalize, and that hasn't been great if you're an Angels fan. Now, someone that has been great for the Angels is Tyler Anderson. He's 2-0 this year, a 2.08 ERA. His last 2 starts, he's given up a grand total of 0 earned runs and 4 hits over 11 2/3 innings. So very, very positive stuff there. He really hasn't had a terrible start yet this season. He's looked very, very good, and he's faced some tough hitting teams like San Francisco, Houston, and St. Louis there in the early goings was no joke at the plate either. So loving life if you're Tyler Anderson. Now, the bullpen situation for the Angels has kind of turned into what you would expect. 3rd from the bottom in the majors, a 5.45 bullpen ERA, so that's not great. We don't love to see that, but other than that, life is decent there for the Angels. The offense has been better than expected here in the early goings. We've seen Trout's power numbers look good if his batting average is really just atrocious, though. They're 8th in the majors in slugging percentage. 21st in run score doesn't look great, but they've shown the ability to put up some runs this season. So looking at the numbers for this one, the Pirates are plus 125. The Angels are minus 140. We've got a total of 8.5. Pittsburgh only 3-8 on the road, 12-11-1 to the under. The Angels 4-3 at home, 11-10-1 to the over. I'm not interested in the total in this game, guys, but I am certainly interested in taking the Los Angeles Angels at minus 140. That seems extremely live to me. It could end up probably not going to be our lock of the day, but it might just be a regular old play for today because I think the Angels, especially with Tyler Anderson on the mound, are in an excellent spot, and even their bad bullpen shouldn't hold them down too much against the weak-hitting Pittsburgh Pirates. Next on the dock, we're looking at the Tampa Bay Rays going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Rays come into this game currently 9-14 on the season. Now, they're playing right now in the bottom of the first against Arizona, and it's not the hottest start here. Arizona's already on the board up 1-0. So the Rays really not off to the year that they would have hoped for. They're hoping Drew Rasmussen can continue a fantastic start to his season. He's 1-1 this year, a 0.87 ERA. He has not given up more than 1 earned run in any start. He's had faced some tough opponents like the Yankees, and yeah, bro has just been lights out. So excited for Drew Rasmussen here and what he's doing in the early goings. And the Tampa Bay bullpen has not been bad either. A 3.49 bullpen ERA, super respectable. Now, the problem for this team has been their inability to consistently score runs. They're 6th in the majors in batting average, 9th in the majors in on-base percentage, but 19th in terms of runs scored. They've scored 1 and 0 runs in their 2 games before this current game. So yeah, it's not looking great for the Rays in this early on. Now they're going up against the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are 14-9 on the year. They've turned things around a bit. They're handing the ball to Corbin Burns, who is somebody they've been really hoping to bolster that starting lineup. He's 0-1 this year, a 4.64 ERA, but his last start definitely headed back in the right direction. He went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits and 2 earned runs. Now that game ended up 13-11, so he held things in check before the bullpen really kind of imploded. Now, over the course of the season, the Arizona bullpen kind of headed in the direction you would think, middle of the road at best with a 4.21 bullpen ERA. The offense, though, once again, exactly what you would expect. This is going to be one of the best offenses out there in all of Major League Baseball. They're 3rd in the majors in runs scored, 3rd in the majors in slugging percentage, also getting on base at a 340 clip. That's 3rd best in the majors. So tons of positives right now for the Diamondbacks at the plate, and the odds makers are noticing. Despite Rasmussen being on the mound, the Rays are plus 115. The Diamondbacks are minus 135. Got a total out there of 8. Tampa Bay has yet to win a game on the road this season. They're a slight under team. Arizona's 7-4 at home. They are also somehow a slight under team. Guys, I just, despite Rasmussen being so good, can't justify backing the Tampa Bay Rays in this spot. So give me the Diamondbacks here as a small lean. It's not a huge lean. Rasmussen has been so good, and Corbin Burnes has looked hittable at times, but I really think the side you want to be on is those Arizona Diamondbacks. Closing out the MLB slate before we get over to our NBA playoff games for the night, we're looking at the Texas Rangers going on the road to take on the Sacramento Athletics. The Rangers come into this game 14-9 on the year. They won game 1 8-5. Now, we'll see what they can do here in game 2. That game has not even started yet, but we're looking at game 3. The Rangers probably pretty irritated that Seager's going on the IL again with another hamstring issue, so that's not great for them. They're handing the ball in this one to Jacob deGrom. He's 0-1 this year, a 3.32 ERA. Now, after a couple rocky starts there, not looking great against Tampa Bay or Seattle, he went out there and dominated the LA Dodgers, guys. It was crazy. 7 innings, 3 hits, only a single earned run allowed. He struck out 7 and walked 1. Now, that 1 earned run was a home run, but he looked so good out there. Unfortunately, he got 0 runs as support, and the Rangers lost that game 3-0, but he did everything he could to put them in a good position. Now, the Rangers bullpen, not looking so hot. Middle of the road, a 3.97 bullpen ERA. Certainly problematic. The offense did manage 8 runs in game 1 of this series. We'll see what they do in game 2, but no Corey Seager. Definitely a big problem. They're 27th in the majors in runs scored, 28th in on-base percentage. This is just flat out a bad offensive team. So we'll see what they can do here against the Athletics, who come into this game at 10-13 on the season. They're fresh off of losing 3 out of their last 4. They're handing the ball to JT Ginn. He's 1-1 this season, a 3.60 ERA. Now, this is a young 25-year-old. He's going to have his ups and downs, but he's throwing the ball pretty well. A good start against the Mets to open his year. He did give up 5 hits, but also gave up only a single earned run over 5 1/3 innings. His start against Milwaukee, he struck out 7, over 4 2/3 innings, but gave up 3 earned runs. We'll see what happens. Both of those games were pretty low scoring, so something to take into consideration here for sure. Now, that Sacramento Athletics bullpen, how do we feel about them? Well, I'm going to say pretty middle of the road. I mean, middle of the road to bad, to be honest. A 4.45 bullpen ERA, not going to get me too jazzed up. The offense for the Athletics has also been, different than you would think. It's actually been excellent. They're 4th in the majors in slugging percentage, 8th in batting average. Now, they're only 16th in runs scored, but we've seen guys like Tyler Soderson get off to a great start, Jacob Wilson hitting the ball well. They've been playing some high-scoring games also, which is kind of weird looking at, what's been going on and looking at, but when you look at where they're playing their home games, maybe that makes a little bit of sense. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Rangers are minus 150 with deGrom on the mound. The Athletics are plus 130. We've got a total of 9 out there. Texas is 4-6 on the road, 15-8 to the under. The Athletics are 2-8 at home, 11-8-4 to the under. Despite the situation, guys, I'm going to be leaning slightly towards the under in this game. Now, no play from this is going in the pinned comment, not at all, but I do think there's some reason to look at the Rangers with deGrom on the mound, but really, guys, this is mostly a stay-away spot for me. Now, guys, hopping over to the NBA slate, we've got 3 playoff games. Very exciting time of the year in the NBA. First up, we're looking at the New York Knicks taking on the Detroit Pistons. A very exciting series now tied up at 1 game apiece. We saw the Pistons come away with the win there at Madison Square Garden in Game 2, evening up the series as they head to Detroit. So very exciting stuff there for Pistons fans. I'm sure they loved what they were seeing out there from Cade. He put up 33 points in this game, a nice bounce back after a lackluster performance in Game 1. He did have 5 turnovers, but also had 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and a couple steals to go along with those 33 points. So very solid stuff there. We also saw Dennis Schroeder play great off the bench. 20 points for him off the pine. Very efficient shooting numbers as well. We'll see if that can continue. We liked what we saw from Tobias Harris. He was solid out there. Guys that we're worried about are like Malik Beasley. He hasn't played particularly well in the series. Asar Thompson hasn't really made a big impact offensively. And Tim Hardaway Jr. Gotta find that shot, guys. He was 0-6 from 3 in that win. So they'll definitely take the win, but I'm sure they're a little bit concerned with the way things went down. Now, in terms of injuries and stuff like that, Isaiah Stewart is on the injury report. We also see Jaden Ivey getting listed on the injury report. It'll be interesting to see if he comes back for these playoffs, but I don't think there's any way he comes back for this series. Isaiah Stewart, questionable for this game. I'll be pretty surprised to see him not play. In terms of, Jaden Ivey coming back, sounds like that probably won't be happening until the next series, but you never know. Weirder things have happened. Now, they're going to be taking on the Knicks, who are probably furious with how things worked out there in Game 2. They did not play particularly well, though, so they shouldn't be shocked. I mean, Brunson played amazing, only 4 of 12 from 3, but still had 37 points. He was a -2 out there. Nobody else really picked up any slack there for the Knicks. I guess Mikal Bridges had 19 points, but really, guys, I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns, an embarrassing 10.6 rebound game. That is not going to get the job done. The bench was terrible. Campaign, shock of the year, not really going off out there. Didn't get much opportunity, though. Mitchell Robinson played 20 minutes and was decent on the boards, but scored 0 points. Like, the Knicks shot 10 of 35 from 3. You're just not going to win very many NBA games if that's what you do. So a bad performance out there from the Knicks. We'll see if they've got a bounce-back performance in them in this one. In terms of the injury report there for the Knicks, totally clear. They've got everyone available. And in terms of the numbers for this game, Detroit getting 1 point here at home. We've got a total of 214.5. The Knicks, 19-22 against spread on the road this year, 43-40-1 to the over. Detroit, 19-21-1 against spread at home, 42-40 and 2 to the over themselves. Now, looking at the total in this game of 214.5, that seems like a small number potentially, but we saw plenty of offense there in game 1, not so much in game 2. I think we'll see the Pistons really try and slow things down here on their home court. I think that's their comfort zone more than it is the comfort zone for the Knicks, that's for sure. So I would shade slightly towards the under. In terms of a side here, guys, it's a little bit rough, but I kind of think you got to go with the New York Knicks to have a bounce back and get the win and, take back home court advantage. Now, maybe Detroit bounces back and gets the win in game 2. Or game 3. I don't think that's impossible. Or game 4. I don't think that's impossible. But I do think you probably want to be on the Knicks in a bounce back in this one, but we'll have to wait and see, guys. It's going to be a very, very interesting game out there. And I'll be honest, I don't have the biggest lean on either the side or the total in this game. I do, however, have some player props that I think are very, very live. And first up, I like Cade here, over 28.5 points. He bounced back in a huge way, scoring 33 points in game 2, and now going back home, he's going to absolutely go nuts. The Knicks clearly don't have anyone who can really guard him. Also, the Pistons don't have a lot of options there offensively, so he has to make it happen. And to get to 30 points again, or at least 29 in this game, seems very, very reasonable for Cade. On the Knicks side, I like Brunson here, over 28.5 points. He had 34 in game 1, 37 in game 2. He's getting plenty of calls. He can shoot better than the 4 of 12 he made from 3 in game 2. With 0 bench, Cat falling victim to his normal playoff struggles once again. The scoring burden is really on Brunson. I think we see him also get right up there around 30 points in this game. On the Pistons side, I think Schroeder may be somebody they want to go to a little bit more, especially at home. You see the role players play better. I think Schroeder over 9.5 points in this game, very good value. He went off for 20 points in 29 minutes in game 2. Should have had 10 in game 1 as he played 26 minutes there and we just almost made it. I think with the success he had in game 2 and with the series going back to Detroit, now we'll see him easily get to double-digit points and play close to that 30-minute mark. In our last prop for this game, I like Cat here, under 11.5 rebounds. He had 11 in game 1, 6 in game 2. Clearly, he's not in a good spot trying to bang down there with the Pistons' big men, and if you're in for a low-scoring game, a slower-paced game there with Detroit being at home, I think rebounds in general could be at a premium in this game, so I'm more than happy to take Karl-Anthony Towns to get under 11.5 rebounds in this game. Now, guys, hopping over to game 3 there between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Memphis Grizzlies. The Thunder have absolutely had their way in this series. They won game 2 by 19 after winning game 1 by 1,000, I think it was. Things are not working out for the Grizzlies. Now, the Thunder are going to be in the road in this one, but in game 2, guys, we saw Chet look really good. Jalen Williams looked great. SGA put up 27 points. The bench chipped in. Caruso having a monster game. The Thunder won this game comfortably despite shooting only 33% from 3 because they dominated on the boards, 55 boards to 42 there for Memphis. So dominant stuff there from the Thunder. Memphis not exactly having an amazing time in that game. Now the starters stepped up big time. Jaren Jackson Jr. having one of his better playoff games, 26 points from him, 23 there from John Morant, 19 from Bane, but none of that was enough. They shot only 32% from 3. Gonna have to shoot the ball a lot better if they want to score the upset, and they didn't do a very good job on the glass. So concerning stuff there. Now, in terms of the injury reports, nothing major to mention there for Oklahoma City. Also, guys, nothing to mention there for the Memphis Grizzlies. So we can dive right into the numbers for this game. The Grizzlies are getting 8.5 points at home. We've got a total of 227 out there. The Thunder, 25-13-2 against spread on the road, 45-38-2 to the over. Memphis, 21-21 against spread at home, 48-38 to the over at home, or just in general this season. So yeah, I'm going to be leaning towards the over in this game. Over 227 might have some value to it. Now, in terms of a side, I'm not going to blink here, guys. Go ahead and give me the Oklahoma City Thunder at -8.5. Even if the Grizzlies have their best game, I think the Thunder are going to dominate out there. I think maybe game 4, Memphis could have a shot to steal a game or, make it a real game there at the end, but I don't see this thing being very close overall. In terms of some props for this game, I like SGA here under 31.5 points. He hasn't scored the ball that well in this series in general, and if Memphis is going to do anything positive, it's going to be here in Game 3 or Game 4. I don't think they completely hold him in check, but keeping him to 30 or less seems super reasonable to me, especially given what we've seen so far in this series. I like Chet Holmgren in this one, also over 9.5 rebounds. He had 11 in 33 minutes in Game 2. I expect a very similar effort from him in this one. Clearly, he's not having any issues in this matchup against any of the bigs from Memphis, so I think he'll be fine on the boards, and I also think his three-point shooting is going to be fine as well. I'll take him over 1.5 made threes in this game. He went 3 of 8 in Game 2 from long range, and while shooting on away rims can be a little tough, I expect him to knock down at least 2 here, as leaving him open to take perimeter shots seems like something Memphis has kind of accepted as part of their defensive scheme. Moving on to our last game of the night here, guys. We're out in the Western Conference. We've got the Denver Nuggets taking on the LA Clippers in a series that is now tied up at 1 game apiece. We saw the Clippers kind of let one get away there in Game 1, and the Nuggets maybe get a little bit lucky with some very timely shot making, but the Clippers got the 105-102 win there in Game 2 to even this series up, thanks in mostly, very large part there to Kawhi Leonard putting up 39 points. He was 15 of 19 from the field. He was 4 of 7 from 3, made all 5 of his free throws. He was looking like the Terminator out there, looking like an absolute machine. So love what we saw from Kawhi. A very solid night out there from Zubac. Now, Harden, 7 of 17 from the field, 4 of 11 from 3, did not get to the free throw line. The refs don't really buy into his antics in the playoffs. That's one of the reasons the guy struggles in the playoffs every single year. So we'll see if he has a bounce back in him. See if they can get a little bit more from the bench now. They're going to be at home. 6 from Batum, 6 from Derrick Jones Jr., 2 from Ben Simmons, and 0 from Bogdanovich. Not really going to work there from the bench, generally speaking. Now, they do escape there in Game 2. They'll definitely take it, but they're going to have to play better here in Game 3. In terms of injury stuff there for the Clippers, I don't think we have anybody really important to mention. Now, looking at the Nuggets, they've got to be pretty disappointed with the way Game 2 ended. Losing home court advantage there isn't ideal, but they did see, they shot the ball really well. They saw Michael Porter Jr. come back and play actually productive basketball. They shot 43, almost 44% from 3 and still lost. That's got to be devastating. They dominated the boards 50-32 and lost. That makes it look even crazier. We saw, Jokic, triple-double, cool, 26 points, 10 assists, 11 rebounds. Very good stuff. Bro just needs some help. Jamal Murray actually had a pretty good night. 9 of 17, 4 of 8 from 3. He did some good stuff. He had 4 turnovers, but yeah, it just wasn't really a night where they could put it all together. Westbrook had 14 very nice points there off the bench. This team is looking very scary. It took a transcendent effort from Kawhi Leonard for the Nuggets to eventually lose this game. So not too upset with what we're seeing here from Denver. They come into this one with Michael Porter Jr. there on the injury list, and that shoulder issue has him questionable for this game. I do expect him to play, but if he doesn't shoot the ball well, his value goes way down. Now, he did rebound aggressively. I don't know if we'll ever see that happen again ever in our lives, but he was crashing the boards with pretty reckless abandon in that game too. So we'll see what happens here in Game 3, guys. The Clippers, 5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 213.5. Denver, 20-21 against the spread on the road, 49-35 to the over. The Clippers, 28-13. A crazy good against the spread team at home, 43-39-2 to the under. Guys, I'm going to be leaning towards the Clippers here at -5, especially playing this game here at home. They've got such a good at-home advantage in that new stadium. It's been pretty bonkers, so I think that's a safe play. In terms of the total, I'm going to lean a bit towards the over in this one, but no massive lean there on that total of 213.5. But we've got 3 player props that I think are very live for this game. First of all, I think Jokic under 9.5 assists in this one. I think Denver's going to struggle on the road here. Without anyone knocking down shots, he's going to be a very rough time making it to double-digit assists. I also like Harden to bounce back a little bit here, especially shooting on those home rims. I'll take him over 2.5 made threes. He's going to take plenty of those patented step-back threes. I'll be shocked if he can't knock down 3 of them on the home rims. He went 4 of 11 from deep in Game 2. He's not about to stop shooting it. I think knocking down 3 here in Game 3, extremely reasonable. And last but not least here, guys, I think Jamal Murray is going to cool off a bit. I'm taking him under 20.5 points. He had a decent game in Game 2. I'm not trusting him here in the playoffs in general, and playing on the road here in Game 3, I'm not expecting anything too impressive. So yeah, even if Denver just doesn't have a very good game, I think that's going to result in Murray really having a bad shooting night and probably scoring somewhere in the realm of 10 to 18 points. Definitely not getting up there to 21 plus. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hope you're liking the new segments with the lock of the day, the massive super favorite lock of the day, and also our dog of the day. You'll find those down in the pinned comment below. If you have any comments or questions for me, let me know down below. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're checking that pinned comment and getting over to stumpthespread.com, getting on that free email list. It's absolutely free. Tons of good information out there for you in that. And guys, we will see you tomorrow right back here for more sports betting action.